Welcome pre-cal students to class today on this Monday the 5th. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're ready to learn some math today. Let's look at some quick announcements here. You will have a test on Monday. That's 1 week from today. If you will not be able to make that test at my house, be sure and let me know no later than Sunday, the day before. I would appreciate that, of course, if you would let me know. And then quizzes are due tomorrow. Now, I know, Matthew, you and I have had a hard time meeting each other to go over your test. However, your quiz is still due Tuesday, you and Kayla both, because really, whether or not your test is, your questions are answered, you still can continue to watch the videos and stay on top of your math. So, quiz is due tomorrow. Stay on top of your integrity sheets, guys. Please don't get behind on those. It's really important to do your homework and do it right away, so please stay on top of those videos and your homework, okay? Well, I hope you guys had a good weekend. I've enjoyed mine, and unfortunately it's back to the grind now, back to work. We'll only have 2 weeks left, so that's really exciting news, so hang in there. We have this week, then a test on Monday, and then we have class Tuesday through Friday. Now, what we're going to do yet, I don't know, and I probably won't know until that Monday when you come over to my house, and then we'll talk about it, and we'll get everything figured out. But only 2 weeks left, so good job. It's been a great year, and I know we're all excited about it being over too. Remember, we looked at these 3 properties down below here on Friday, and what we did is we condensed logarithms. Remember, you were given a really long logarithm, and we wrote it. We broke it all the way down and wrote it with 1 logarithm. Well, today we're going to use these same properties, but our problems, listen to me guys, our problems are going to be the opposite. Instead of condensing, we are going to expand them. So you're going to start off with 1 logarithm, like these problems here. Let me just quickly show you something. We're going to start off with 1 logarithm, and when we're all done expanding it, it'll be a really long logarithm with many logs in there, and I'll teach you how to do that today, of course, in the notes today. Now, don't be deceived by the length of the video. I know it's not a long video, but the material is not easy, so please take really good notes. Don't be scared, but really be ready to work hard, okay? Okay, your heading today is called Expanding Logarithms. The lesson number is 4.4, and the date today, if you'd like to keep track of that, and I definitely encourage you to do that, is May 5th. May 5th. Okay? All right, here we go. Let's take a look at 3 problems, and then we'll be finished for the day. So I hope you'll give me your undivided attention and listen carefully, and we'll see what we can do. Now, the first thing I would always like to encourage you to do is, if you have a division problem in your logarithm, start there. Okay, let me say that again. If you have a division problem in your argument of your logarithm, start there with the division. Let's go back and look. Remember, when you have a division problem right here for your argument, you can take that logarithm and look, you can write it as 2 logarithms as long as you put a subtraction sign in between them. It's really important, due to the negative sign that you're going to have right here, it's really important you start with the division first. So let's go ahead and do that in this problem here. Okay, now watch what I do and see if this makes sense. I have log base A of x squared y to the 5th, z to the 5th. Now watch what I'm going to write and see if this makes sense. I'm going to write log base A of, now here's my numerator, x squared y to the 5th. That's my numerator right there. Okay. Then I'm going to put minus, because it's a division, we're talking about division here in the argument, minus logarithm base A of z to the 5th. Now that's pretty easy, okay? Now next, after you've done that, and the reason it's so important to do that first is because you have to realize this negative sign goes to this entire logarithm, and let's pretend we would have had z to the 5th, x to the 3rd, or something like that, and then you would split this logarithm up into 2 more logarithms, you need to realize this negative sign would go to all of the logarithms that you're about ready to write. I'll explain that a little more later, but my point is this: do your division part first. Okay, now that you've done that, let's start with our first logarithm here. Notice they're multiplying. You have x squared times y to the 5th. Well, what we learned on Friday is you can split that up and you can say log base a of x squared, and then because these two arguments are multiplying, you put a plus sign, not a minus, and then you would write log base a of y to the 5th. So I took this single log here and I broke it down into 2 logarithms. Then I took this single log here and I broke it down into 2 logarithms. Now bring down this logarithm over here. Now the only thing left to do is remember, let's go back and look. Whenever you have an exponent in your argument, you can write that out in front of the logarithm or to the left of the logarithm. Let me get a drink here real quick. And so I do have an exponent right here, and I have one right here, and I have one right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write 2 log base a of x plus 5 log base a of y minus 5 logarithm base a of z. And that's it. Now, Mr. Earhart, how do you know that you're done? Well, you just have an x here. There's no product or quotient. You just have a y here. There's no product or quotient. You just have a z here. There's no product or quotient. You have no exponent here, no exponent here, no exponent here. There's really nothing else you can do. Now, I will say this. You've got to look for a base matching a base. Let me show you what I mean. Pretend this x right here would have been an a. Well, whenever you have something like that, and we're going to see that in one of these problems up here, so just trust me, I'll give you an example of this later. Sometimes you can take that and simplify it a little further. I'll explain that to you later. But right now, that's it. We're finished. So we took one logarithm right here, and we broke it down, or we expanded it to this right here. Okay? Now, on Friday, you were given something like this, and you condensed it down to this. So hopefully you're seeing the difference, okay? All right, let's go ahead and try problem number 2. It's not going to be a long video. We're doing these 3 problems, and that's it, okay? All right, let's go ahead and give this problem here a shot. Now, I would like to point out to you that it's going to be really hard to expand this unless we first rewrite the original problem. You got to learn to look for this, guys, okay? We don't want that radical, okay? A squared b c to the 5th, all of that is to the 1/2 power, okay? So the square root of this entire expression means this entire expression right here under the radical is to the 1/2 power. Now that I've done that, let's take this 1/2 and let's multiply it through, and let's simplify this just a little more, okay? So now I would have log base a of, well, there's a 1 right here with b, even though you can't see it. 1/2 times 2 would give me a to the 1 power. 1/2 times 1 would give me b to the 1/2 power. 1/2 times 5 would give me c to the 5/2 power. There we go. Okay? And now we're ready to go ahead and do what I taught you, which is to start with your fraction, your division first. And so notice I have an argument here in which I have a numerator being divided by the denominator. Okay? So I'm going to create a little space. Kind of like soccer players, you guys know how to create space, I hope. So let's create some space here, and let's pull this thing over here, and let's erase all of this. We don't need that anymore. And let's pull this up here, and let's start having some fun. Okay, the first thing you do is you work with your division bar. So I'm going to write log base a, then I'm going to write my numerator, a b to the 1/2, and then minus log base a of c to the 5/2. So I took this one logarithm and I split it up into two different logarithms. Now, when I look at this logarithm here, I don't see a product. Sure, I see c to the 5/2 power, but over here I see a product. I have a times b. And so I'm going to go ahead and work with this logarithm here, and I'm going to split it up into two logarithms. So I'm going to write log base a of a plus log base a of b to the 1/2 minus log base a of c to the 5/2. All right. Now we should be really familiar with this. Okay. I have no more products here, but I do have an exponent here, and I do have an exponent here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 1/2 right here, and I'm going to move it. Well, I was going to move it. I'm going to try to move it to the left of the logarithm. We'll see if I can do that. There we go, and there we go. So I can put the 1/2 to the left of the logarithm, okay? And now we're going to create a little more space here. There we go. There we go. And let's put the 5/2 right here. Okay? Now we're looking really good. The only thing, I mean, look at this, students, Matthew, Caleb, look. We have just an A here, no product or quotient, just a B here, no product or quotient, just a C here, no exponents. We're looking really good. The only thing you got to be careful of on a test or a quiz is when you have matching bases like this, or not just matching bases. If you have like a base 2 and like a 16 here, remember you could rewrite 16 as 2 to the 4th power. So you got to look for just little things that make you say, hold it, maybe I can take this further. Now over here you've got base A of B, that's nothing. Base A of C, that's nothing. But I've got base A of A. So I'm going to take this logarithm right here, and I'm going to see if I can't simplify it further. Do y'all remember how to do that? Caleb, Matthew, you should. Remember how to simplify this a little further? We take it, we set it equal to what? X, and then we see if we can't solve for X. And if we can solve for X, then we know that we can simplify it. Well, let's see. We're going to write this logarithmic expression exponentially. So remember, the base stays the base, and the argument A right here is all by itself over here, and this x all by itself becomes your exponent. Well, look at that. I've got a to the x equals a to the what? 1. So we do know what x equals. In this situation here, what does x have to equal? 1. So this entire logarithm right here, log base a of a equals what? X, but x equals what? 1. So this whole logarithm just simply equals 1. So I'm just going to put the number 1 here. There we go. Now you are going to have to learn how to do that in your homework, and you'll get some practice in your homework tonight, okay? Okay, I hope this is making sense. Again, we are expanding logarithms with, of course, great excitement, okay? And so I hope this is making sense. Let's continue on, and let's try one more expansion, and then the video will be over. Now, unlike the last problem, there's no square root like we had over here. There's no power of like a 5 to multiply through, nothing like that. We just simply have a rational expression. So remember, we start with the division sign first. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to split it up into two logarithms. I'm going to write log base b a y to the 5th minus log base b of m to the 3rd n to the 4th. Not too bad. Now, notice how I have a times y right here. So I'm going to take this logarithm right here and split it up into two logarithms. Log base b of a plus log base y, excuse me, that's incorrect, log base b. your bases always stay the same of y to the fifth. Now, here's where it gets tricky. In your other two problems, when you had minus a logarithm, you did not have a product here. You just had one little variable, and so there was the negative sign just stuck to the logarithm. But now I'm going to have to take this logarithm and split it up into two logarithms because I have m times n. So when you do that, please remember this negative sign goes for the entire logarithm. So I'm going to put minus, and I'm going to put a parentheses. It's very important you do that. And then I'm going to put log base b of m to the third. Now they're multiplying, so put a plus sign here, plus log base b of n to the fourth. Okay? And now it really doesn't matter what order you go in. You can multiply the negative sign through first. For me, I like to do this. I like to move the exponents first. So this 3, as we know, will go right here. And this 4, as we know, will go right here. And this 5 here, as we know, try to give us a little room, just a little bit of more room to work with here. And it's not working. Will go right here. Now, the only thing left to do is to take this negative sign and multiply it through. Now remember, the negative sign does not go to the arguments, just to the logarithm. So your answer would look like this. I'm going to save some time. I'm not being lazy. I'm just trying to save time. If you took this negative sign and multiplied it times this positive 3 and times this positive 4, you would get a negative 3 and a negative 4. So all that I'm going to do is take this parentheses away, take this parentheses away, and then take this plus sign away. Okay, there we go. And that's it. There we go. So when you take the negative sign and multiply it through, your 3 here becomes negative, and your 4 becomes negative. Now, I'm looking for anything that might be able to be simplified. I've got a base b of a, base b of y, base b of m, base b of n. I don't see anything that I can do. Okay? So there we go. That's it. Okay? All right. I hope this has been a help to you. It is extremely important for you to do the homework. I've only given you 12, but they're 12 good, hard, difficult, solid problems. And you really, really, really need to do them, okay? Very, very, very important. So, hope you have a good day today. Call or email if you have any questions. And I hope this homework help video has been a help to you. Oh, this hasn't been homework help, has it? Your old teacher's getting old and senile. I hope this instructional video has been a help to you.